All right, so Philly just lost to the Celtics in Game 7. That game was a roller coaster, man. So, in the second quarter, I think it was like 53 to 53. And I was like, man, this is going to be a great Game 7. We're in for a good one. And then, man, that third quarter came, and the Celtics absolutely destroyed the Sixers. I think they ended up scoring 10 in that third quarter. I think Jason Tatum had like 17 or something, maybe 16. So outscored the Sixers by himself in that quarter. And man went nuts. I mean, he was going nuts in the first half. He was driving to the lane, getting whatever shot he wanted. And then that third quarter came around, and he just started hitting anything. Threes, drives to the lane. I think he missed like a layup or something, and that was it. And that was just Jason Tatum. That's not even mentioning what Al Horford was bringing on the defensive end to Joel Embiid. The MVP, man, he did not look like it in this game. He was kind of getting clamped, for lack of better words, and I think Robert Williams had a lot to do with that. That was the biggest adjustment, obviously, from Game 5 to 6, and that paid out in Game 6, and obviously it worked out here as well. Tyrese Maxey was probably the only good part of the Sixers team down the stretch there. James Harden had like 5 turnovers in that quarter, so I mean, come on, man, can't be doing that. You got to trust your two stars to get you wherever you need, and they did not deliver for him. And for the Celtics, they just did, man. So now we look forward to the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, a rematch of that bubble match from 2020, where the Heat got the better of the Celtics last time, and I don't know if that's gonna happen again, man. Honestly, I mean, the Heat obviously are on, a streak right now. They beat the Bucks round one, which was, just absolutely insane. The Bucks did not come ready at all, and then they just faced the Knicks. And honestly, that was not a fun series, man. I mean, it was just really boring. It was pretty much just Jalen Brunson carrying a team full of people who did not want to be there. Kind of overstayed their welcome, to be honest. But the Heat, the last series, they did not need Jimmy Butler to go off every single night like he did against the Bucks. So maybe he's a little bit more refreshed and can kind of take on the Celtics. But really, I expect that to be like a 5-game series, honestly. Bam is gonna have, his fair share of work in for him on the defensive and the offensive side, man. Al and Robert are kind of coming into their own recently on the defensive end, and if Al can start hitting threes, like he has been absolutely horrible at hitting any shot he needs to, but if he can start doing that against the Heat, man, I don't know if that series even goes to 5. Jason is going to be hard to stop. I don't know who's even going to guard Jalen. Um, so yeah, I mean, and that's just ignoring what Marcus Smart can do for you on the offensive side of the ball. And then we move on to the Western Conference Finals. We have Denver and the Lakers. Obviously, another rematch of the bubble from 2 years ago. Kind of crazy that happened. Um, but yeah, man. So Denver just came off that series against Phoenix. That was a great series. There was a lot of offense in a lot of the games, but for the most part, the Denver defense looked pretty good. That was one of the knocks during the regular season. Their defense wasn't good. Jokic was just horrible at defense. He shouldn't be the MVP if you're bad at defense or whatever. And recently he's been holding his own. Um, and of course he was going against Landale and like DeAndre Ayton. It's no AD, who I assume he's going to be guarding on the defensive side of the ball. And that's going to be a huge matchup. AD versus Jokic again. So my main takeaway, obviously AD, a great defender, but what he is going to do to Jokic on the offensive side of the ball is going to play just a huge part in what happens during this series, because if AD can get going and make Jokic tired, I mean, that's one of the things, man. If Jokic gets tired, he's gonna need, at least 12 minutes on the bench, and I don't know if the Nuggets can afford to do that. Jokic does everything for that offense, and having Jamal Cook, I mean, I don't know who's gonna be guarding Jamal that can actually, take him on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, Jamal's not that great on defense, but I mean, he's going to be guarding like Austin Reeves probably. Like it really doesn't matter. Um, and then obviously I expect Aaron Gordon to be guarding LeBron. I think that's going to be a big matchup as well. LeBron has been scoring like, a solid 20 to 25 points a game in this postseason. Not really had a huge game yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if that came here against the Nuggets. Um, but I do think that the Nuggets can win this series. It really does depend on how they do at home. And especially that first game, man, if they have any nerves in them, the Lakers are going to be looking to pounce on that, especially LeBron and all of his experience. And I just saw a stat earlier. The Lakers have not lost a home game since like the middle of March. It's been like 2 months since they've lost at home. So going into LA, the Nuggets are going to have a hard time. The Nuggets are already not that great at traveling anyway. The biggest win that I've seen so far that they've had away is in Phoenix to close that out. So I think that'll be huge if the Nuggets can get a win in LA. I think that series over. Obviously, I mean they don't have to since they have home court advantage. They could just win all at home. But if they can get a win in LA, I really don't see them losing in Denver. I mean, they do great at home. Um, and you'll have the crowd behind you there, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much all my takeaways for this series. Kind of excited to see how AD plays against Jokic and how that first game goes there, and obviously on the other side, how Jamal or not Jamal, Jimmy can just take on the entire Celtics team. So, but that's about it. See y'all after the first couple games.